As a die-hard Ridley Scott supporter through thick and thin, I always still think the guy has a little bit of gas left in the tank. And after seeing Gladiator II, the man has somehow proved his doubters wrong once again. Prepare to be entertained, brother. What's up, guys? I'm Sully, and today I am very excited because we're talking about Ridley Scott's brand new historical action blockbuster, Gladiator II. All you need to know about this one is that the story goes like this. After his home is conquered by the tyrannical emperors who now lead Rome, Lucius is forced to enter the Colosseum and must look to his past to find strength to return the glory of Rome to its people. So if you happen to catch me on the right day of the week, I'll definitely tell you that Ridley Scott is my favorite filmmaker of all time. The man has just made so many great movies in both the sci-fi and historical epic space. I mean, he basically has both genres in a chokehold. Just look at films like Alien, The Last Duel, Blade Runner, Kingdom of Heaven, Prometheus, and of course, the original Gladiator. But when I heard that after all these years, he was deciding to dust off the toga and sandals and give us another Gladiator film, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit worried. Although I'll defend my guy until the bitter end, continuing this story after so much time has passed, on top of the fact that his resume in recent years has been a little hit or miss, House of Gucci and Exodus Gods and Kings, I'm looking at you, is definitely a tall order. But after finally seeing the film for myself, I'm happy to report that Gladiator II is an action-packed, well-acted, over-the-top romp of a blockbuster. I think the most important thing to mention first here is that this isn't just another sequel to a beloved movie from years and years ago that's designed to be nothing more than nostalgia bait or a simple cash grab. It's actually centered around a story that feels like a pretty natural continuation of what we got 24 years ago now. I'm not going to say that the plot ends up being as emotional, compelling, and satisfying as the original film, but what it lacks in those areas, it definitely makes up for in grade A badass entertainment. The best way to explain it is like this. If the original is a classical composition, then this new entry is pure punk rock. Loud, entertaining, and messy in all the right ways. Sure, maybe it's not the most historically accurate film ever made, but when you're watching a gladiator ride into a contest on the back of a rhino, or seeing sharks feast on fools in the middle of a Colosseum naval battle, does it really matter? The answer is obviously a big fat no. Ridley Scott always excels in that department whenever he decides to explore these types of overindulgent times throughout our past. The moral of the story is if the movie centers around ancient history or the Middle Ages, just let my man cook. He knows what he's doing. Now let's talk about the performances here because I think pretty much everyone involved does a good job. Mescal plays a convincing lead that's out there on the hunt for vengeance. Pedro Pascal wrestles with the idea of being a general that doesn't fight for what he believes in, and a whole host of other actors fill out some memorable supporting characters along the way. But let's be honest here for a second, the true standout in this movie is Denzel Washington as the master of gladiators. Not only does he dish out this larger-than-life and nuanced performance, but he pretty much treats the material as if he's in some sort of a Shakespearean play, and we know what this guy is capable of every time he steps in front of the camera, but this might actually be the most fun I've had watching him since Training Day back in 2001. He is just so good here and is able to elevate the performance of everybody else around him. A ton of the plot is driven by him, and he somehow finds a way to be menacing, funny, and unpredictable the entire way through. Like I mentioned, the actual script itself isn't anything too impressive, but when it's Denzel who's in control, you'd think it's something right out of Citizen Kane. I also just want to take a second to appreciate whenever a big budget blockbuster actually looks and feels like a big budget blockbuster. So many times over recent years, we've witnessed movie costs balloon up to the $300 million to $400 million range, only for them to look like absolute dog shit when it's all said and done. Say what you will about Ridley Scott, maybe he's a bit of an opinionated grump, but the guy knows what a massive scale, immersive, and authentic blockbuster experience should deliver to the audience. Much like Spielberg wanted Raiders of the Lost Ark to play out like a roller coaster, it seems like Ridley Scott wants Gladiator II to play out like one of those flying chair rides that's either gonna thrill you or make you see your lunch again. Either way, that is the type of experience I'm looking for out of my big budget blockbusters. Overall, guys, I definitely had a blast with Gladiator II. It might not be as sharp around the edges as the original when it comes to the story, but it is a seriously entertaining popcorn movie the entire way through. The action sequences and Denzel Washington's performance are reasons enough alone to go see this on the big screen. And in a year where it feels like blockbusters aren't quite hitting the mark, this film makes good use of its huge budget and gives the people what they came for. I say again, prepare to be entertained. Gladiator II gets a Sully score of 4 stars. So that's my review for the latest Ridley Scott film. What do you think is your favorite movie directed by him? I'm seriously torn between Alien and Blade Runner, but let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.